the Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Okay, Kirby, kudos to you for finding this story. Somehow it slipped through the cracks of my social media algorithms, which are full. Even you were surprised off air, Phil. How you literally mentioned it to me as if, Phil, you must have seen this story because it involves a coyote. And we cover a lot of coyote stories on this show. Anything to do with animals in the city, especially. We are not limited to just coyotes. We'll talk Komodo dragons, bears, badgers.
Over the holidays out in my area in Charleswood, there was a report of a group, or whatever they're called, as a pack of coyotes, which is rare too, in the area, that we were told about the dogs and the small pets and that kind of thing.
That's
that
unsettling.
A lot of people were worried because the river, of course, frozen. So they're moving around into some of the little parks and such, right? So
Yeah,
this is a little bit more daunting than just, them being outside, though, in a park.
That's right. Here, I'll just play the news story that I found online from Chicago about a coyote here.
No injuries were reported in this incident, including to the coyote. One wildlife ecologist says with this being coyote mating season, that amorous animal may have been looking for love. This adult male coyote is now in caring hands after his star turn on social media.
Watch out, guys. Watch out, watch out, watch out.
This video, viewed millions of times, shows police yanking the animal by the tail from the produce section of this Aldi in Humboldt Park. Witnesses say the animal had been roaming the parking lot at 800 North Kedzie when it somehow ended up inside the store. Police and Chicago Animal Care and Control safely removing that coyote who'd been hiding in a cooler beneath a selection of fine cheeses.
They picked an odd location, and they do this sometimes. They make a mistake. They're trying to avoid us. They're trying to hide from us.
Stan Garrett has been studying coyotes in Chicago for a quarter century and says they're everywhere, like in this case, hiding in plain sight.
Stan Garrett. Cheese, the fine cheeses. This coyote's no dummy.
Well, but you got to wonder, hanging out in the refrigeration, and if he's trying to be a little amorous, I don't know if the cooling effect has anything to do on coyotes as it does on human males, but that might not have been the best spot to hide.
Looking for love in the fine cheese aisle.
That was the craziest part is when I first saw the video, it didn't say what animal was in the cooler. It just said, you're not going to believe what this guy pulls out. And I was hooked.
Yeah.
I was hooked until the end, and I'm like, I'm not going to lie. I was not expecting a coyote to come out of there.
You got to wonder, too, obviously the coyote knew. Apparently grocery stores are a great place to meet people, right? You hear that?
Fine cheeses.
But did the story not say that the police were yanking on the coyote's tail?
That's what, yeah.
I'm going, I don't know if that's a good idea.
It was animal services.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was spooked,
Well, they would know
and they
what
were
they're
trying
doing.
to get it out. And it looked like they handled it as well as they could have.
Well, for sure. The poor animal had to have been scared.
Yeah.
It
Probably
was.
just at the prices at the grocery store.
I got to give the guy Animal Services a lot of credit. He, when you watch the video, he dives in with his hands and pulls that thing. Like, the coyote could have been rabid for all he knew.
Yeah.
Could have, latched onto his ankles. He just digs into the fine cheese section there and pulls the coyote out.
That's the key.
Yeah.
The fine cheeses right there.
I know, man. I'm telling you right now. So the coyote is at a animal rehab center.
Nice.
And
So it has a happy ending.
That's right. They're going to give the coyote a checkup, make sure it's okay, and make sure it's okay to be released back into the wild. But
Chicago, though, that's
I know. It's so bizarre.
Big, major city.
We see a lot of things in Winnipeg. As
No,
far as
true.
I know, we have not had coyotes in grocery stores yet.
No.
That's...
No, there was just that one time, remember, back in the day, I told you guys I had tried to get a bird. I reported a bird that was stuck in the grocery store in the bread section.
What kind of bird?
It had flown into...
Like a sparrow?
Into the grocery store. I don't know what kind of bird. I could just hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then I had gotten one of the employees. I told
Right.
this story, and then I was just like, I'm concerned about this bird that's stuck in the grocery store. And they were like, ma'am, birds fly in here all the time.
Yeah, for sure they do. I got to be honest, it's not living up to the same story as the coyote for me. I'm trying to help you through this.
That one was
it really,
Sorry.
No, hey, it's okay.
That
We
was
all
a
have-
buzzkill.
That was it.
Didn't live up.
Wow.
Wow.
Philly Joe Kirby.
Philly Joe and Kirby.
Podcast.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Call the Bone phone. 780-BONE. Brought to you by Auto Gallery of Winnipeg.
Hey, first-time caller here. not going to tell you to get your bleeper ready because I have no intention of swearing. Just wanted to point out something to a certain sir who called in about people on Henderson there. I also live in a place where I got to drive up Henderson, and just like to point out that if you're making a turn onto a street and there are 3 lanes, you are supposed to, by law, turn into the first lane closest to the curb. So everybody in the center lane, which is the middle of 3, doesn't have to move over to get out of your way. You are actually not following traffic laws by trying to get over multiple lanes at one time, which has the potential to cause accidents and is dangerous. So for the person complaining or anybody complaining about people in the middle lane not moving over for them when the curb lane is totally empty, I would recommend that you follow the laws properly and drive safely. Everybody have a great day out there. Take care. Bye.
Okay. I believe he's talking about someone who complained about people who will wait before they merge into traffic because they need to get. No, he's talking about people when you're waiting to merge and somebody won't move over to another lane.
Right.
Yes.
They were in the middle lane just driving. And Henderson's a goofy kind of street in some spots because you've got parked cars on some parts of it, and then it's down to 2 lanes and sometimes 3. But
feels hectic whenever I'm on Henderson for an extended period of time. Like there's lots of pedestrians coming out of parked cars. Yeah. Like you got to be alert.
I think it's 50 most of the way on Henderson, too.
Mm-hmm.
I was just sorry, Joe.
I was just going to say, you kind of take the word highway out of Henderson Highway when you're only able to go about 50. So.
Agreed.
I was just having that conversation, Phil, about Corden with a friend of mine. How, like, you really got to be on guard when you're driving down Corden, even at 50, because, you got doors opening, people coming out of their vehicles. Narrow. And it's very narrow.
There's lots going on. Good call. Portage in Maine. We have a call about some of the changes that we're seeing.
So now that they're opening Portage in Maine, some things have changed, and people don't realize that, and it's driving me crazy. You used to be able to turn right on a red light from Portage onto Westbrook. You no longer can. There's a sign there that says you can't, but everybody will sit behind you and lay on their horn if you don't turn right on a red. Just look at the signs, people. That's all. You guys rock. Have a good day.
Thank you.
It sucks being that first vehicle, like Joe said earlier, when everybody's, honking at you and you're just trying to follow the rules.
Yeah, if you're not doing anything wrong and people are honking at you, that's the worst.
Well, you can't explain yourself on the sign that's ahead of you that says...
Pointing at it.
I would. I'd put it in park, get out.
That's the way to do it.
That sounds safe. That sounds safe.
Just kidding.
Portage in Maine, too. Right there on Westbrook. Get out of your car.
There's Kirby over underneath a sign explaining
Listen, there is a sign that
right
says...
this guy's got a couple of things on his mind.
Morning, PJK. I got 2 bones to pick this morning. I guess the response to the calls yesterday. First call yesterday about if you can't drive the speed limit, then you shouldn't be on the road. I 100% agree. If you can't drive the speed limit, stay off the goddamn road. I drive over 1,000 kilometers a week, and there's maybe been 2 days this year where driving under 100 on the highway might have been reasonable. Second bone to pick is responding to T. Kona about the rebates and the rates. Keep your goddamn rebate check and lower my rates. Anyway, have a good day.
But we did get a really good explanation about the whole MBI rebate thing yesterday, JoJo.
Yes, since they're a public company and I guess we are considered shareholders, when things go profitable, that the shareholders get a piece of that, right? Part of that stake. And when it goes the other way, we pay more. So that came in on the text line, as you mentioned. So I would assume from somebody at MPI. So thanks for that information.
Okay, Kirby got a new doormat. It says live, love, wipe your feet. What does it say?
It says boots off.
That's it?
Boots
Just
off.
Boots off. Okay, perfect. And this replaced the one that said...
hello.
Hello. Okay, and you live in an apartment. You're an apartment dweller. And Cliff Clavin is kind of warning you that maybe the doormat's not a great idea for an apartment.
Yeah, Kirby, I was just listening to the doormat discussion that was replayed this evening.
By the way, before we go on, you need to listen, Kirby, because Cliff Clavin, he's always got the advice. I'm telling you right now, this guy, he is helpful.
Yeah, you may want to remove that doormat. See, in a lot of buildings, they don't even allow doormats. And the reason is it creates a tripping hazard.
Tripping?
So if anybody was to trip on your doormat,
I'm not going to your building.
the building might come after you if there's any kind of lawsuit that came out of that. So if I were you, I'd remove your doormat. Anyways, we'll talk to you later. Bye.
You get charged. I would be on that jury. Don't ask me to be a character witness. I don't know. She was always talking about the doormat, and we told her. We warned her.
Oh my God!
You're the last door, though, right?
No,
On the hall.
I'm the first, and the next one is my caretaker, who also has a doormat.
Well, yeah, but we can't worry about your neighbor. We're worried about you.
How thick is the doormat?
And plus, if they trip on your carpet, what are they hitting? They're hitting the wall.
Listen, if I haven't tripped on it, nobody's gonna trip on it.
Yeah.
Let me tell you that. I'm clumsy. And there's a woman who cleans the hallway all the time, and she cleans around it. She's good. Like if she it's on her way.
Is it thick? Like is it rubber underneath?
Yeah, it's like it's gonna stay there though. Like,
I don't
it's
know.
like pretty, you know.
Well, you were worried about the first one you got there getting stolen, the hello one.
Yeah.
This one I would think has a better shot of getting stolen. Boots off sounds a lot better than hello.
Hazard. I think it's a hazard.
You know what? I'm a hazard in that building.
Clearly.
Okay,
Yeah.
but I'm still
There's
there.
been talk from others, but we can't comment on that. We don't live there.
We're going to rat you out.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
To the board there, to the people. Is there a board?
It's not a condo. It's an apartment.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Philly Joe and Kirby's Entertainment Rundown.
Listen to the magnitude of some of these shows who debuted on this day. We'll start with this one. Happy Days premiered on this day in 1974. The year I was born. I didn't even know that about Happy Days.
I loved that show growing
Great
up.
show. Oh, so good.
So many great episodes. Couple of add-on characters that came, and then the spin-offs. Mork and Mindy, Laverne and Shirley were two that came from that show.
Laverne and Shirley I knew, but I did not know Mork and Mindy was a spinoff. I
Yeah.
think you told me that not that long ago. That's crazy. Hill Street Blues, a great cop show, premiered on this day in 1981.
You know who one of the greatest cop characters, Kirby, since you love cop shows?
Who's that?
Andy Sipowicz. One of the great. Dennis Franz
so
was
good.
the actor's name. Chewed gum like he was a horse.
Yeah.
Remember, I just like grinding down on that piece of gum. There was an intensity about him as a cop.
One of the original TV show badass cops, Andy
Loved it.
Sipowicz. And this one, just a few years ago, and I don't know if either of you have seen it, on this day in 2021, we're talking movies now, The Marksman with Liam Neeson, 38% on Rotten Tomatoes. Hit
Did you
theaters.
just ask if I've seen it?
I don't know. There's so many of them.
Seen them all, except Ice Road Truckers after 15
You
minutes.
gotta give it another chance.
I do. I know. The Marksman.
He was living in an Arizona border town, former Marine who helps a young boy escape a Mexican drug cartel.
It was pretty good. I know it only was 38%, but the premise is pretty good when he's helping a kid.
I've seen bits and pieces. It was on one night, and you're right. It's not terrible. That's
I
for
didn't
sure.
think so.
Yep.
Did you guys see this story that's circulating social media out of France where a woman, this 53-year-old woman named Anne, who was married to a millionaire at the time, okay? She fell for a scam where this man was claiming to be Brad Pitt, okay? And she thought that she was legitimately talking to Brad Pitt, and the fake Brad told her that he couldn't use his own money because he was actually tied up in the divorce proceedings with Angelina Jolie at the time.
Wow.
Where she kind of decided to realize that this is a scam is when she saw in the news that Brad Pitt was actually on a vacation with his current girlfriend, started to question things. If you see these pictures, though, that this scammer had like photoshopped Brad Pitt's head in to like swindle this woman out of $850,000, it's bizarre that she fell for it. I feel bad for her, but it is just crazy, some of these romance scams.
Must have been some underlying issues with this woman to believe that Brad Pitt would get a hold of her.
You would think so.
Yeah.
You said she was married to a millionaire, so I'm
That's the
assuming
craziest part,
the divorce
though.
is...
She left the millionaire husband
thinking
to
Brad Pitt.
pursue Brad Pitt.
I see.
Use the money from the divorce
Yeah, that makes sense.
send to Brad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Poor woman.
Listen, the creator of Succession, Jesse Armstrong, has found his next project. He's getting together with the executive producer of Succession, Frank Rich. They are putting together an original movie on HBO, so I'm sure we'll be able to catch it on Crave when it comes out. These guys did some magical work with Succession. This is going to be a movie. It's a script. It's about 4 friends who convene during an international financial crisis. Probably something like The Big Short or something along that lines, but these guys know what they're doing when they get together, so I'd be looking forward to this movie. No name yet, but the Succession people are behind this.
Why not a spinoff of Succession? I don't get it.
I know.
Like if the dude who did Breaking Bad can make Better Call Saul and both can be massively successful, why not continue on with another sidebar of Succession?
I will ask you this because it was that big of a show. Would you rather see a prequel with Brian Cox, or would you rather see the future and where it goes after the final?
Oh, man.
And I got to go with Brian Cox and a prequel first.
Anything that involves Brian Cox, I'm going to vote for that, even though, yeah, they'd both be great. I think they'd both be great.
He does a great job on the latest McDonald's ads, by the way.
That's your entertainment rundown.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Would you rather, as we move on here, have your coworkers watch your dreams on your PVR? Like we're talking, we'll go with daily. No, once a week. Or your next Teams meeting from your bathtub. And they're like, there's nothing that your coworkers are seeing that's explicit. It's just, yeah, sorry, I'm combining a Teams meeting with a bath that I have.
I think I would rather, what was the first one?
Have your coworkers watch your dreams on the PVR.
Yeah, no. I would rather attempt a bath while a Teams meeting is going on.
It's good luck.
I'm going with the bath just for the laughs.
Full on, yeah.
It's a one-time deal.
Rubber ducky.
Bubble bath.
The dreams, all of a sudden, we're going to be sending a guy to therapy, and there's going to be analysis and everything else. So I'm just going with the bath, get a few laughs.
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's a gorilla in the mist. Ha, hey, everybody. Okay.
All you can hear is
It's
the
all
water.
Steaming up.
The water
Rubber
swishing
ducky,
around.
you're the one.
I got a few things to say on this topic, says Joe from the tub. All right. Would you rather have an executive assistant who lives in your basement? So we're talking, they're taking care of your emails, your schedule, but they live with you. Okay. Or would you rather have a personal driver who takes you everywhere in a monster truck?
Yeah, I'm going to take the assistant because truly I could use somebody to live with for some company and also just like the help.
Yeah,
with all the things that I got going on in my life. So, yeah.
So busy.
How great would that be, though?
Well, getting picked up in a monster truck, like, that's not my vibe. Like
everywhere you go.
Kirby, we got to hoist you up here. So that's a bit of like a way to show up. I just feel like.
And there needs to be a flag hanging off the back of it of your face, Kirby, in the monster truck.
Well, self-promotion is everything when it comes to monster trucks.
Never mind that. Even at your apartment, you're paying for 3 parking stalls to have that thing in the back there for your ride. I'm going with the personal assistant.
You could use one. You're a busy guy.
I sometimes would like to have some help in that department, yeah.
You could go downstairs because they're living with you and chat. And,
yeah, well, there's somebody living downstairs already of no assistance.
Would you rather? We'll wrap up with this one. Come out of your house in the morning. This doesn't have to be in the morning. I just chose morning because, well, it's kind of it's dark and it makes it a little more, startling. But it can be after an event. You just come to your vehicle and find someone dressed as a clown sitting on the hood of your car, or find someone dressed as the Kool-Aid mascot sitting on the hood of your car.
Okay, before I jump into that, somebody did say, good point, I'd be off the clock at 6 p.m. when Kirby goes to bed if I took that job. Very valid.
That's a good...
You'd be working some tight hours. But
No
I would
kidding.
take the Kool-Aid guy because who the hell wants to come out to a clown that looks like that?
Really?
Waiting for them.
That's right. Anything sitting on your car needs an explanation, and it's like, it'd be like, whoa, it's very startling, but a clown would be worse. I agree.
I don't know if it'd be worse. If it's a Kool-Aid mascot, people are looking for drinks, you're getting stopped all the time. I think the clown would get a good reaction, and clowns do a lot of great things. I'm going with the clown.
I don't know.
Clowns get a bad rap. You're right.
They do a lot of good charity work and stuff.
But
I'm
that
going with the
Kool-Aid
clown.
mascot was always happy, though. He's crashing through walls.
100%. But
A lot of damage.
yes, who needs MPI claims every week?
Philly Joe Kirby.
Philly Joe and Kirby
Podcast.
The Philly Joe and Kirby Podcast.
And we had the story earlier about the coyote in the grocery store in Chicago that they had to haul out of the grocery store. The coyote is fine. And then Kirby followed that up with a less awesome story, but still an animal story about a bird at a grocery store. And I've got one that's along the same lines as Kirby. It's nothing like a coyote in a grocery store, but I do believe that there could be a bunny living underneath my barbecue cover. And the reason is I'm no criminal investigator, but there's footprints on my deck, bunny prints going they're all over the deck, but you can see
the trail
that ends at the barbecue underneath my big barbecue cover.
Phil, wasn't that the place where you found a bunny last spring
Garage.
and it had
Been torn apart by an owl or something?
yeah.
Well, then no, that was other side of the yard, and it was nicer weather when the bunnies are all over.
Okay.
They're clearly looking for somewhere to stay warm right
Shelter, yeah.
now.
and probably chewing on the stuffing from the cover. You know, the
I don't
insulation
want
part
that.
of the all guaranteed.
I don't want them damaging the barbecue.
And they're probably nesting it up somehow in there. I tell you what I saw this morning, a buck walking across Roblin, standing next to a fence, like right next to a fence. And I go, I guess you ran out of room. And all of a sudden, this thing, like right there, jumped at least. It had to have been a 5-foot fence over the fence.
Like equestrian.
In somebody's backyard.
Wow.
I'm going like, oh, wow.
Jeez.
It's been crazy.
Phil, just let it
I'm not
stay.
gonna.
No, he's not that guy.
I'm not getting rid of the rabbit.
But you're gonna come. You're gonna pull that barbecue top off at the end of the winter, getting ready for. You barbecue in the winter sometimes, though.
Yeah, not when it's
not
this
now.
cold.
Not now, though.
My fear is that I'm going to
He's
pull the
living there.
cover off and there's going to be a frozen rabbit under it.
You're like a magic trick, eh? Pulling the cover right off the body. It's like, no, he's not going to be frozen. They live.
That's they're just seeking probably from the
Shelter.
wind.
Well, yeah, I know, but don't
But-
tell me the odd rabbit doesn't freeze in the winter.
Yeah.
I'm sure they do, in this,
Yeah.
especially if it gets cold enough. I would think.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, let's be optimistic here, okay?
No, let's be optimistic. Way to go, Kirby. I agree with you.
I'll send you photos of what I uncover. I'll look under. Maybe I'll
I'm
look.
telling you, you're going to uncover a ripped up cover.
The Philly Joe and Kirby Podcast.
20% of people say they always do this while watching TV. You had a few cold nights. A lot of people, want to hibernate this time of year when it's that cold. These people are saying they always do this while watching TV. 20% of them.
Okay.
Okay.
780 City, 780-2484. Good morning.
What about putting on the subtitles?
Putting on the subtitles. Number 3. You know what? One of the kids does that all the time. And it's like, I got to shut it off. It distracts me from watching the show. And then if it's an English show, Christy needs the subtitles on. I go, it's English. But
I am a huge fan of subtitles lately because you know why? I find myself engaging more with the show that I'm watching.
Because of it?
Because of it. It's almost like I'm reading along to the show.
I get distracted from watching what I think I need to see, but just me.
Yeah, if it's sometimes you get better names and there's things you don't hear and you're constantly rewinding. So I feel you miss less with the subtitles. Hi, City.
Hey, can I get a lifeline?
Philly or Kirby? Yeah. Okay. 20% of us do this while watching TV.
Yeah. So you're a subtitles person too?
Depending on the show, but yeah, I find if I'm really into it, I'll hit
Well, it
the
sounds like that
subtitles.
number should be higher then for people putting on subtitles in 20%.
I'll say a lot of people are multitasking, returning emails, cleaning up some work while they watch TV.
1, 2, 3, 4. Number 4, checking their phones, checking the emails. If they're just checking their phones, that number's probably higher. But if they're actually doing emails in that 20%, it's work. I'm not going to.
780 City, good morning.
Could I get Kirby, please?
Kirby.
They're doing some sort of self-care.
Painting their toes?
Oh, like, okay.
Yeah, or
no.
like a face mask or lotioning your body up.
No.
I never do that while watching TV. That's before bed.
Lathering up while watching TV.
Honey, where's the Curel?
There's the body lotion.
The tarp's a little dry. Hi, City.
Hi, wrap up in a blanket.
No, getting cozy is not in the top 5. No. That makes sense.
For sure. My wife has 15 of them.
Blankets everywhere on the couch.
God. It's cold in here. No, it's not. 780 City, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Is it flipping through the channels?
No.
You know, like channel surfing?
No. No, it's not. That number probably is higher, actually.
For Bush tickets, 780 City, 780-2484. Good morning. Go ahead with your guess.
Hey, is it falling asleep?
Falling asleep is number 5, my friend.
I would have
Watching
guessed
this show.
higher
Falling
number.
asleep.
Yeah, I would have said higher too. Yeah.
For Bush tickets, go ahead.
Stretching, exercising.
Let's see here. That's on here as well. Number 2 on the list. Working out. So far, we've had working out at number 2, putting on the subtitles at number 3, checking their emails, such work stuff, 4, and falling asleep, 5.
Okay, 780 City, good morning.
Morning, guys. I'm going to say cooking.
No, that's good.
That's a good guess.
Sometimes having something on, in the background.
Definitely.
This is something to do with more about being in a comfort zone and cozy. So it's not about putting an extra blanket on, and not everyone can do this. So I'm gonna give you a clue here. Kirby could do this. Phil could not.
I think I know.
20% of people say they always do this while watching TV. There's 2 lifelines left. One of the 2 said they think they know.
Hi, City.
I could get Kirby for a lifeline.
Let's see if she really does know.
Is it cuddling with your kitty?
Pet. I'm going to
Okay.
go with pet.
The pets.
Yes. Cuddling with their pets, watching TV.
That's me 100%.
Sometimes I bring the fish tank downstairs to watch
Do you
TV.
cuddle with the fish tank?
I bring him down. Like, hey, boys, what's going on? We're watching TV here.
Seeing those little fish eyes looking through their own glass at the big screen, watching the Montreal Canadiens on hockey night in Canada.
Hey, Laboon! I pick up the tank
What's
and I
all
shake
this
it.
water all over the floor?
They're big
the
Sharks
fish and I were
fans.
watching the game.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Let me tell you, the more we dive into this Doormat portfolio, the more concerning, the more disconcerting, the more troublesome it gets. Hey, Kirby, this is the Boston Pizza text line about your new doormat. It is definitely a hazard in your apartment building, especially if people are trying to evacuate the building. If there was a fire and then the firefighters come in and they start tripping on your doormat, it's so then he just goes on to say it's not allowed, and so
in their building they're not allowed.
They're not allowed in their building. Keep in mind, I'm neighbors with the person who owns my building and caretakes it.
Sorry, it goes on to say, and then people start putting their boots and shoes on the mat in the hallway with all the visitors you get.
All of a sudden, it's a school hallway.
Yeah.
Like you're the boot monitor.
So you got the mat people are tripping on, and you got the boots and shoes as people are trying to be rescued. This is... I'm bothered by it. I don't know.
I'll tell you right now, next time I'm coming by, I'm waiting in the car. I don't want to see that. I'm not putting myself at risk.
Keep in mind, I also have a sticker on the door that the firefighters are going to have to look at because it says, in case of emergency, please rescue my cats.
Yes.
Well, they can't get in because of the mat and all the boots in front of your door to rescue the cats.
Here we go. The mats and cats
Oh, my God.
are the first to go.
I'm just a hazard. At this point, they haven't evicted me. So.
We need to get,
Surprised.
maybe we can get some safety inspectors. It wouldn't be firefighters. We don't want to waste their time. They're busy. But to come by your...
No, please. Let's get the firefighters.
Let's get an entire... shift of firefighters in your area to come by your apartment and check on this mat and see if it meets safety standards for a
the
building.
amount of traffic that must go up and down that hallway that could be affected by this mat. The amount of people you have over.
God.
I'll tell you, I don't know what kind of insurance you have to carry to have that mat in front of your apartment. You might want to talk to your insurance company.
Tenants insurance.
Did you have the mat when you got the insurance?
I didn't tell my insurance provider about the mat.
They're probably going to tell you need a sump pump put up there on the fourth floor.
A sump pump?
In case of flooding on the fourth floor.
This is stressful.
And extra mat coverage, I think it's called.
Extra?
I think
Hang on, I'll
extra
write
mat.
this. Hang on, I got to write it down.
EMC. Extra mat coverage.
Mat coverage. And I got to just ask them what the premiums are?
I would ask what the premiums are on mat coverage.
You got a lot to do today. You got to get a hold of the fire department. You're calling the insurance company.
Is there a fire? No, I just am worried about the mat.
Hey, the best kind of offense is a good defense.
Philly Joe Kirby.
Philly Joe and Kirby
Podcast.
The Philly Joe and Kirby Podcast.
So that's what that means. Boston Pizza text line. Kirby, I think you should get a bench or a stool for next to your mat. Keep people safe, protect their backs.
Yeah, that'd be good. Maybe a magazine rack, like as if it's a waiting room out there in the hallway just to get into Kirby's place because it's so busy.
It's busy. Look at there's shoes everywhere, doormats.
You're coming in, you wipe your feet, and the shoes come off, and they stay in the hallway. The hallway monitor, the boot monitor will be by to check out. It's like, what are you, Ichiban? All of a sudden, we're going to go to eat at Kirby's house. The shoes go off. You walk in there on your socks.
You know what?
Do you have a hardwood floor? I don't want to be sliding across the hallway.
I was thinking about it to add to the vibe of the hallway situation that I got going on. You guys got me a shoehorn one year for a gift. I think it was my birthday
Put that out
present.
There. Never used it.
I'll put the shoehorn out there. That will help people take their boots off.
The visual that's being created of the firefighters with their axes out trying to get through the
Is this an office? No, it's just some
shoes and mats everywhere.
You know what's going to be your moneymaker, though? The coat check. When you start charging for coat check out in the hallway.
You might as well put a bunch of hangers out there. Yes,
I don't pay rent for the hallway.
Lockers.
I'm getting by with just a mat, okay?
I'm saying you can make a little extra rent money here.
Well, no, because I got to pay more to have space in the hallway.
Oh, yeah, frontage. You're right. You pay for that as a business.
How many suites are on any given floor in your building? Like, what are we talking about?
On my floor,
half a dozen?
There's 3.
Okay.
There's only 3 of you on the floor?
Yeah,
and 2 of you have welcome mats?
There's a penthouse suite next door.
It's a rich guy.
Hold on a second. I don't know this building outside the front of it because I've picked you up a couple times. But you're telling me on the floor you're on, there is a penthouse suite and then your suite?
Yes.
So how did they luck out with the penthouse suite
because
having
they
a neighbor?
Own it.
No, but usually the penthouse suite is on its own floor.
Yeah.
These people built one and gave you the other floor and only
the
to
other
know
unit.
The other unit. So one's got a welcome mat. It's a penthouse suite, and then there's Kirby suite with a mat too.
I'm just trying
That's awesome.
create a welcoming environment for the 2 people that have to walk down the
No
hallway.
problem.
That is obvious, and they all appreciate you for
Well, they were talking about the new mat. I told you that.
They've been
I heard
talking
them.
about it.
I heard them in the hallway.
Who would have known? The penthouse was right next door. What a building.
Oh, also, it's being suggested by Daryl on the text line. How about a snack machine beside?
Yeah, that's good.
Right
Ice.
beside your
snack
doormat.
machine.
I'd like an ice machine like they do in the hotels, too. Right next to it.
For more Philly Joe and Kirby, log it into 92.1 City weekday mornings 6 to 10.